Reparations. The economy is destroyed. Inflation gets so bad that people are using wheelbarrows full of cash to buy bread. The suffering is real and widespread. Into this chaos steps a new kind of leader, one who understands how to harness anger, how to channel resentment, how to give people someone to blame for their suffering. And he's got particular ideas about who's responsible for Germany's problems. His rise to power is fast, shockingly fast. By 1933, he's Chancellor of Germany, and his ideology, his hatred, his plans for Europe, they spell disaster for the Rothschild family, especially the German and Austrian branches. The world is about to enter its darkest period, and the Rothschilds, who survived revolutions and wars and economic crashes for over a century, are about to face their greatest test. Just 21 years after World War I ended, Europe goes right back to doing the same damn thing. Except this time, the ideology is darker, the weapons are deadlier, the stakes are higher, and for Jewish families, especially prominent ones like the Rothschilds, this isn't just another war to profit from. This is existential. 1939, Germany invades Poland. Britain and France declare war. World War II officially begins, but unlike the last war, which bogged down into trench warfare pretty quickly, this one moves fast, terrifyingly fast. Spring of 1940, Hitler's military machine starts rolling and it doesn't stop. Denmark falls in hours. The entire country occupied before lunch. Norway puts up more of a fight, but it's not enough. Then the German army sweeps across the Netherlands and Belgium. These aren't long campaigns. These are blitzkrieg operations, lightning war, tanks and planes moving so fast that defending armies can't even figure out where to dig in. France is next, and France is supposed to be strong. They've got the Maginot Line, this massive defensive fortification on their border with Germany, supposedly impenetrable, except the Germans just go around it. They push through the Ardennes forest, which everyone thought was too difficult for tanks, and suddenly they're behind all of France's defences. The French army gets caught completely off guard. By June 1940, German tanks are rolling into Paris. The City of Lights goes dark. The capital of France, one of the great powers of Europe, falls, just falls, and Hitler makes sure to really rub it in. Remember when Germany got forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles in 1918? The one that humiliated them and demanded massive reparations. Hitler makes France sign their surrender in the exact same railroad car where Germany signed their surrender 22 years earlier. Maximum psychological warfare. Britain is now standing alone against Germany, the last major power in Western Europe still fighting, and they're next on Hitler's list. If Britain falls, if Hitler conquers Europe, the House of Rothschild faces its certain end. Not just financial ruin, actual extinction. The Nazis have made it very clear what they think about Jewish people. The Rothschilds, being the most prominent Jewish banking family in Europe, are a prime target. Some family members see what's coming and get out early. They flee, they grab what they can carry and run. The older Rothschilds in France, Edouard, Robert and Maurice, they manage to escape before the occupation gets too tight. They end up taking various routes, stopping in different countries, eventually making it to either the United States or England. It's chaotic, it's terrifying. These are people who've never had to run from anything in their lives. They've been at the top of European society for generations, and now they're refugees. When German tanks rolled into Paris in 1940, the French Rothschilds were in grave danger. Not theoretical danger, actual, immediate, deadly danger. The Nazis aren't subtle about their intentions. They've been seizing Jewish property throughout Germany and Austria. They've been implementing increasingly brutal policies, the writings on the wall in letters 10 feet high. The Rothschilds, who can't get out, who are too old or too slow or just unlucky with timing, they face disaster. The Nazis seize everything. The banking houses get taken over. The art collections, some of the finest private collections in the world, get looted. The mansions and estates get confiscated and turned into headquarters for Nazi officials. Generations of accumulated wealth just taken, gone, stolen by a government that's decided your existence is a problem to be solved. It's not just financial loss. That's almost the easy part, if you can call losing everything easy. It's personal. These are homes where families lived for decades, art that was collected over lifetimes, buildings where business was conducted for 100 years. All of it stripped away, and the people who can't escape face worse than property loss. They face imprisonment, deportation to camps, death. Some Rothschild family members actually join resistance movements. They're not just sitting around hoping things get better. They're actively fighting back against the Nazi occupation, using their connections, their resources, whatever they have left to help the resistance efforts. It's dangerous as hell. Getting caught means execution. But they do it anyway, because what else are you gonna do? Roll over and accept it? The war drags on. Britain holds. The Soviet Union enters the fight after Germany invades them, which turns out to be Hitler's biggest mistake. The United States joins after Pearl Harbor. Slowly, painfully, the tide starts to turn. The Nazis are fighting on multiple fronts. They're overextended. Their supply lines are stretched. The industrial might of America is pumping out weapons and supplies faster than Germany can keep up. D-Day, June 6, 1944. Allied forces land on the beaches of Normandy. It's brutal. The casualties are horrific, but they establish a foothold. They start pushing inland, liberating France town by town, village by village. The Nazis are being pushed back. By early 1945, it's over. Germany is being invaded from both sides. Soviet forces from the east, American and British forces from the west. Hitler kills himself in his bunker. The Nazi leadership either kills themselves or gets captured. On May 8, 1945, Germany officially surrenders. General Eisenhower makes the announcement. The forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe. Cities celebrate. People pour into the streets. After 6 years of war, after tens of millions of deaths, after unspeakable horrors, it's finally over. But for the Rothschild family, the victory is bittersweet. They survived, which is more than many Jewish families can say, but they've been fundamentally changed. The dynasty that operated seamlessly across Europe for over a century is now fragmented, scattered. The German and Austrian branches are essentially destroyed. The assets are gone. The banking houses are rubble. The family members who survived are traumatized. The Vienna Rothschilds, the Frankfurt Rothschilds, the branches that helped build the empire in the first place, they're not coming back, not in the same way. The wealth that took generations to build got wiped out in a few years of Nazi occupation. The London branch, N.M. Rothschild and Sons, survived because Britain held. They take on the task of rebuilding, of trying to figure out what the Rothschild name means in this new post-war world, because everything has changed. The old European order is dead. The age of empires is ending. Colonial powers are losing their colonies. New nations are forming. The global power structure is being rewritten. America and the Soviet Union emerge as the two superpowers. Everyone else is playing for third place, and the financial center of the world has definitively moved from London to New York. Wall Street is where the action is. The dollar, not the pound, is becoming the global currency. If you want to play in international finance now, you need to be tight with American banks. The London Rothschilds understand their position has shifted. They're not the dominant banking power anymore. Those days are gone. The House of Morgan, Goldman Sachs, other American institutions, they're running the show now. The Rothschilds are still rich, still influential, but they're no longer the name in banking. They're a name, one among several. That's a big psychological shift for a family that spent over a century at the very top. So they adapt. They focus on what they're still good at. Government financing, yeah, but also maintaining relationships with elite clients. The Rothschilds have always understood that access to power is as valuable as power itself. They keep their banking operations relatively small, private, exclusive. They're not trying to become a massive retail bank serving millions of customers. That's not their game. Their game is serving the ultra-wealthy and governments. High-value clients who need discretion and expertise. This becomes their core strategy going forward. Stay private, maintain control, don't chase growth for growth's sake. Keep the family involved in decision-making. Avoid public scrutiny as much as possible. It's a defensive posture. Protect what we have. Rebuild carefully. Don't take unnecessary risks. By the 1970s, NM Rothschild & Sons is still operating in London, still serving elite clients, still making money, but they're operating in a very different banking landscape. The industry is consolidating. Bigger banks are buying smaller ones. New financial instruments are being created. Derivatives, options, complex structured products that didn't exist before. The rules are changing and changing fast. A guy named Robert Maxwell enters the picture, and Maxwell is complicated. He served in the British Army during World War II, which gives him credibility. After the war, he worked in British intelligence for a while. Then he got into publishing, building up a media empire. By the 1950s and 60s, he's acquiring British publishing companies, Pergamon Press, Mirror Group newspapers. He's becoming a media mogul. Maxwell's got a traumatic backstory. Most of his family was killed in the Holocaust, wiped out. That kind of loss scars you permanently. For Maxwell, the experience of extreme poverty and horror created an absolute imperative to never be poor again. Not being poor became his entire identity. Wealth wasn't just nice to have, it was survival. It was proof that he'd escaped the nightmare. But building the media empire he wants requires capital, serious capital, the kind only major banking houses can provide. And in London, if you want that kind of money with the credibility and connections attached, you go to the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds agree to back him. They provide financing for his acquisitions and expansions. On paper, Maxwell's investments look solid. Publishing is profitable. Newspapers are influential. The media industry is growing. Everything seems fine. Maxwell is seen as a successful businessman, a self-made man who overcame tragedy to build an empire. The Rothschilds are happy to be associated with that story. But underneath the surface, problems are brewing. Maxwell's empire is more leveraged than it appears. He's borrowing heavily to fund growth, using one company's credit to prop up another company, moving money around in ways that are creative at best, fraudulent at worst. But he's good at hiding it, good at maintaining the appearance of success. And as long as the cash keeps flowing, nobody looks too closely at the plumbing. Inside NM Rothschild & Sons, tensions are building too. Family drama, the kind that's been threatening to tear apart family businesses since the beginning of time. On one side, you've got Lord Victor Rothschild and his son Jacob. On the other side, their cousin Sir Evelyn de Rothschild. And they fundamentally disagree about the future of the bank. This is the 1980s now. The banking world is transforming. Mergers and acquisitions are everywhere. Small banks are being swallowed by bigger banks. Those bigger banks are becoming mega banks. Financial deregulation is opening up new opportunities. Derivatives and options trading are creating new revenue streams. The banks that are winning are the ones getting bigger, more aggressive, more modern. Jacob Rothschild looks at this landscape and thinks the family bank needs to adapt or die. He wants to modernize ownership structures, bring in outside capital, pursue aggressive expansion, maybe even take the bank public eventually. He sees the consolidation happening and believes the Rothschilds need to compete at that scale or they'll get left behind. They can't stay a small private bank serving elite clients while everyone else is building financial empires. The world has moved on. Sir Evelyn sees it completely differently. He's running NM Rothschild and Sons. He's the one in charge, and he believes that modernizing the ownership structure is how you lose control. The Rothschild Bank must be owned by Rothschilds, 100%. No outside investors, no dilution of family control. That's non-negotiable, even if it means short-term sacrifices, even if it means slower growth. The bank has to stay in family hands. His argument is based on history. For over 150 years, the Rothschild banks survived and thrived because the family controlled them completely. They made decisions based on long-term family interests, not quarterly earnings reports. They maintained privacy and discretion because they didn't have to answer to outside shareholders. That privacy, that discretion, that's what elite clients pay for. You start bringing in outside capital and you lose what makes you special. Both arguments make sense. Both are based on legitimate concerns about the future, but they're incompatible. You can't both modernize ownership and keep 100% family control. You have to choose, and the family can't agree on which path to take. The conflict gets personal. It always does in family businesses. It's not just about business strategy. It's about legacy, about control, about which branch of the family gets to define what the Rothschild name means going forward. These arguments have been simmering under the surface for years.